Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 2024 NFL predictions. Last year, didn't go as planned or as I hoped. Of course, ended up with the Ravens losing to the Chiefs which was my Super Bowl pick, the Ravens losing to the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game, and then the Chiefs eventually beating the 49ers. But overall, I went 3 for 4 on conference championship games and had one of the Super Bowl teams, and I think that's pretty decent. Got the MVP right, so I'm hoping to build on that success and do better this year. So, we're going to start with the divisions, and then I'm going to give awards, and then I'll say my playoffs. So first, AFC North, which is the Ravens division, my team. That's why I'm saying that. My team is the Ravens, if you don't know. So, I know more, and I feel like, as a fan, you always have that little bit of bias. But I do not have them winning. So for the AFC North, I have the Ravens winning, and then the Bengals at 2, Browns at 3, Steelers at 4. See, but like the Steelers and Browns, they could really go swap. They could swap because they'll probably be 9 and 8 each. That's how it always is. The AFC East, I have the Bills still winning. I was really debating on if they would still win, with the loss of Stephon Diggs, and just they were in cap. They had some struggles with the cap this year. So, but I still have them winning. Josh Allen's just one of the top 4 quarterbacks in the league. I think it's Mahomes, and then Lamar, Burrow, and Allen are all in just the same group, which they could each be 2, 3, and 4. Then I have the Miami Dolphins, Jets, and then the Patriots. The Patriots are going to be the worst team, in my opinion. I feel like that's just consensus. I'm not a big fan of the Jets. I know, they're going to be great. On paper, they look great. I just don't feel like they're going to do well. And then the Dolphins, they just set in right at 2. In the West, I have the Chiefs winning. I feel like that's just obvious. I say that, and if they lose, it's going to be a clip. But I feel like they're going to win the AFC West. Then I have the Chargers, the Raiders, and then the Broncos. And I feel like the Broncos could be very good. I'm not a big Bo Nix fan. I have a friend who's a Broncos fan, and he wasn't a fan of the Bo Nix pick, and then he grew on him. And I kind of had the same reasoning for the Lions last year. I listened to my friend, and then I picked them to do well. I don't pick the Broncos to do well this year, but I feel like Bo Nix is going to have a decent enough year where they can build on him next year. And then in the AFC South, I have the Texans, the Colts, the Titans, and the Jags. I know, the Jags at last place seems weird, but when you look at it, the Colts, they didn't have their starting quarterback last year, and they almost made the playoffs. The Titans, they had so many additions. I mean, it might take them a little bit to gel, but I feel like they're going to be a good team. And the Jags, they just skid. They had a huge skid to end the season. And I may not be consistent by saying that. You'll see why later. But I just don't feel like the Jags are going to build. I'm just going to say where I have them. I have the Chiefs at 1, Ravens at 2, Texans at 3, Bills at 4. And then my wildcard teams are the Bengals, Dolphins, and Colts. Now to the NFC. We have the NFC North with the Lions, the Bears, the Packers, and the Vikings. I'm a big fan of Caleb Williams, and he just got weapons. He already has DJ Moore. Then they add Keenan Allen, and they have DeAndre Swift. I feel like he's set up to succeed year 1. Lions, obviously, I feel like they're just going to continue their success. The Packers, they had a great run to end the season, but I don't know if it's able to be kept up. Jordan Love, he got his contract. I'm not sold on Jordan Love. I'm just not, and that's okay. NFC East, I have the Cowboys, the Eagles, the Commanders, and the Giants. The Giants, I feel like, are going to fall. I'm not a big fan of Daniel Jones. I am a big fan of Jaden Daniels. And, neither of them are making the playoffs for me, so it doesn't really matter down there. Cowboys and Eagles at top, just going to stay up there. It's hard to be bottom 2 when you have those 2 teams at the bottom. NFC West, I have the 49ers, the Cardinals, the Rams, and Seahawks. I'm a little worried about the Seahawks QB situation. I don't think Geno Smith is the answer. I mean, that's pretty much proven now. The Rams, they had a great year last year. I don't know if they can keep it up. I'll get to that later. Then the Cardinals, Kyler Murray coming back. He was back last year with like full season. Marvin Harrison. I feel like they could have a decent year. NFC South, the Falcons, the Bucks, Panthers, and then the Saints. Saints are my Patriots of the NFC. Just not very good. Not good at all, actually. So yeah. Falcons, they have so many additions. They have Judon, Jesse Bates, and Kirk Cousins. And a new OC. That's all that matters. And then the NFC playoffs, I have the Cowboys at 1, 49ers at 2, Lions at 3, and then the Falcons at 4 since division winners get top 4. And then my wildcard teams are the Eagles, the Cardinals, and the Bears. So I was really struggling to figure out whether I wanted to put the Bears in the playoffs or the Rams. And I went with the Bears just because it's a young, exciting team. And, you know, I wanted to see them make the playoffs. So I kind of put them at 7. They could be at 8, but I'm going to put them at 7. In my MVP, I have Mahomes. Since Chiefs are the 1 seed, I feel they're going to give it to him. And if you're a Cowboys fan, I have an award for you later. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Caleb. If he can bring the Bears to the playoffs, they're going to give it to him. It's hard not to. Defensive Rookie of the Year, I really struggle with because like no defensive player was taken like top 10. And the first one was Laite Latu from the Colts. So I chose Byron Murphy from the Seahawks, the D-tackle. Then Offensive Player of the Year, I have CeeDee Lamb. If the Cowboys be the 1 seed, he's going to have a major impact on that. And Defensive Player of the Year, I feel like it's just one of the two of Myles Garrett and TJ Watt, and I put Myles Garrett. So for the playoffs, I have the Bills beating the Bengals beating the Bills, the Texans beating the Dolphins, and the Ravens beating the Colts. And then I have the Bengals beating the Chiefs. Do not clip this. And then I have the Texans beating the Ravens. The Texans have so many weapons. It would hurt me to see it, but I think that's what's going to happen. And then I have the Bengals beating the Texans. So the Bengals are in the Super Bowl. I do not like seeing that. But yeah. And then I have the Eagles beating the Falcons, Cardinals losing to the Lions, and then the 49ers beating the Bears. Eagles beating the Cowboys. Cowboys can't win the playoffs. And then the Lions beating the 49ers this time. And then I have the Eagles beating the Lions to make the Super Bowl. And then Bengals. Eagles, I have the Philadelphia Eagles winning the Super Bowl this year. That'll make one of my friends happy. Super Bowl MVP beating Jalen Hurts. Extend Nick Sirianni. So yeah, that'll do it for this year's predictions. I'm going to try and be more consistent with uploads, but we'll see. Who knows? But that's my predictions. I'll update mid-season like I did last year. Last year I changed it, and it did worse. So I'm going to act like that didn't exist. Yeah, thank you for watching. And remember, these are predictions. If an injury happens, I can't predict injuries. I can't predict Aaron Rodgers tearing his Achilles last year. But I hope something like that doesn't happen. I hope it's a clean year. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.